you guys, we can do this. I'm super fired up that you guys are here. The box lacrosse game absolutely changed the way I saw field lacrosse. And just so you girls are aware, I've coached women's field lacrosse as well. I understand your guys' game. It's awesome. You guys are more skilled than the boys by far. And it actually makes your transition to box a little bit easier because you guys have more of a pass first mentality. And so it's like really, really fun when you watch the women's world games. If you've watched any of them, if you watch the women's world games side by side with the men, you see how many times the girls skip the ball. And like those passes inside those skips are what make the game and move defenses. And it's incredible to watch. So you girls can be really, really good at this game. Um, I watched, I'll kind of get off this here, but there's a girl, she's going to Loyola this year. Her name is Taylor Santos. She's probably going to log really big minutes. She went to IMG for her last couple years, but I coached her in California from the time she was about 9 all the way to 15. So she's going to tear it up. She's like a kind of a box first player, so you can watch her in college and see how she does. But like this thing is real, and if you guys are interested in getting to that next level, like this is the way forward. So without any more, we're gonna jump right into it, and what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to give you guys some standards, okay, and try to make it a little bit easier for you guys to understand exactly what you should be accomplishing when you're on the floor. So I'm gonna take you guys through a full shift, and then we're going to talk about what we can do each shift. Okay. So the very first thing, and I'm just drawing right now, we're not really talking about this. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the importance of substitutions. Okay. And that's probably not where you thought I was going to start. Um, but when we talk about substituting, the reason it's so important is because unlike field lacrosse for both boys and girls, um, box is much more of like an all-out play mentality. So when you're on the floor, you're expected to go full speed. And if you've played, you've probably felt that full speed and you get that there's a difference, right? Where you're like, you get to the bench and you're like, and you're huffing and puffing. Where field lacrosse, yeah, that might happen every once in a while, but like you're huffing and puffing. And so when we play, we want to be on the floor for pretty much if this is our defensive end, the high side of the floor is our D end, right? We would want to get an offensive shift as we come on the floor, drop back and get to defense, then transition the ball, help our team transition the ball up the floor and sub off. And that would be a really, really good shift. If someone's drawing, can someone just help me out and not draw right now? I'm so ADD and I will just focus purely on that and get lost. Um, so we really want to think about that shift length every time we're playing. Now, I started with transition because I want to go over the most important part. And I talked with your coaches about this for a little while. The ability for us to push and transition is what makes box lacrosse so special. In field lacrosse, there's no boards keeping the ball in play. In box, there is, which means you can run and you can pass and you can shoot and you can go get the ball back because it's probably not going to go out of bounds. So, learning how to push in transition opportunities is super important. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with these shapes. So this is my offensive shape here. This is one of my offensive players. Okay. And so we're going to look, how do I delete these things? Get these out of here. Okay, we're going to get rid of those. Okay. So the very first thing that we want to think about, the star is the defender. You guys like the star as the defender? It's pretty awesome, right? These are great shapes. This is exact game replica.
Oh yeah.
This is good, right?
Yep.
So we're here and we have this 2-on-1. Now, the very first thing that we want to understand, girls, is box lacrosse is not like field lacrosse in the sense that we can shoot from wherever we want. We have to think about getting to the strong side of the floor. So this girl would want to be a lefty if we were in this 2-on-1 situation and this girl would want to be a righty. So we have our sticks to the inside, and when our sticks are to the inside as we approach the net, that means we can shoot to the far side of the goal. Let me turn this. So we want to be able to shoot over here to this side of the net, the far side of the net, and the short side of the net. And we can do that if our stick's in our right hand. If our stick's in our left hand, we can't hit those corners and we're not going to be nearly as successful. So the very first thing in transition is we want to try to get to our strong side. So if this is my lefty over here, or sorry, this is my righty and this is my lefty, as we're coming down in transition, we could always kind of crisscross. Okay, as we're coming down, that's going to make it harder for the defender to guard. We get our sticks to the inside, and that's going to make us much more likely to be able to create good transition opportunities. Now, as we're coming down in transition, because there is nobody down here, it makes it really hard for this defender to drop back. And if there's a gap between us as the ball carriers and the other players that are back here and subbing, like there's no one around us behind us, we can slow down a little bit and slow play a transition opportunity and let this girl kind of get ahead of us if this one has the ball, right? If I just have the ball and I slow down right here, I can let this girl get in front of me, and now this defender is in a really tough spot. Just because I slowed down for a step or two and I let this play develop, and then this girl would want to kind of come back down in transition. So you have a little 2-on-1. We're constantly looking to push those. We're constantly trying to create another little situation that we can do. And I think I have a clip of film of this for you guys, is we can actually seal. Okay, so this girl could come down if this girl had the ball and seal this defender and pick her. And then we could come off this and shoot. Right? Now we don't have to make a pass. So let me see if I can find this clip really quick for you. Oh, there we go.
Hey girls, while he finds this clip, I think it's important if you guys are a lefty or you're a righty to pay attention to where you should be on the floor. So Elliot talks a lot about how important lefties are. We actually are lucky. We do have a lot of lefties on our 7-8 team. We don't have as many lefties on our 5-6 team, but I think just make sure, especially our lefties, you guys know where you should be always on the floor.
Oh shoot, if I cancel it. Well, okay. So check this out. You guys can see my screen now. So this is Six Nation Chiefs. This is a Native American team in white versus the Peterborough Lakers. Okay. So see how they pass the ball? It's a 2-on-1, and here's a little seal, and he comes off of it and shoots. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but this is a really easy way to play. And if you're a defender, you're maybe not super like confident with your stick yet in transition. If you get the ball to one of your good goal scorers and go set that seal, see how 24 is driving in to this player, how physical it is. That can be a really good way for you to be a teammate and score and get a great opportunity for someone, right? Especially if you don't feel confident or you're like, man, that girl is way good. I want to let her shoot. So just a little food for thought there. Play that out one more time. Okay. In that screen. Uh, I'm stuck. One sec. There we go. Okay. Whiteboard. Okay. So does that make sense in transition for everybody? Does anybody want to ask a question about that with the 2-on-1s? I would assume you guys are pretty comfortable with 3-on-2s, so I don't think we need to jump down that rabbit hole. It's kind of the same situation. I'll just draw it out really quickly so you guys can kind of go through that and see it. But if we were in a, oh, come here, we would just want to space properly, right? So we would want to be in a triangle shape like this. Okay. And this is how we would put maximal pressure on the defense is as we're coming down in transition, we would get into a shape like this and we would need these girls to be crashing on a plane like this, straight down to the net. And same thing with this backside girl. And what that's going to do is as we drop and get lower and lower, that's going to force these defenders to get lower and lower. And that's going to allow the ball carrier to come down and be able to step in. Now, really important note with box versus field, if we can get understanding ranges to score from is super important, and we're going to transition right into that from here because this is going to be super helpful for you girls. So let me draw this cage. Okay. Okay. Here's this. Here's this. Let's step out. Now, when we think about, draw this out for you guys for a second. Have you guys When you guys look at a hockey floor, roller hockey floor, if you play on any of those, they have the hockey circles right here, okay? And inside of those hockey circles are a hockey dot right here where they would drop and do a face-off from. It's super important. I'm going to get rid of this circle so you guys understand there are hockey dots right here, okay? When we look at prime scoring areas, we want to draw a line from that short side post over to that hockey dot. And we want to draw a line about here and up. So for a right-handed player, this would be the ideal area for us to drive into and shoot and score from. Now I say that I'm being very specific with my wording, girls. Drive into, right? If I had the ball and I like made a move and got my hands free and set my feet like Charlotte North and then tried to sting a corner from underneath this line right here, the goalie's positioning should be this. Should be like about like this. So unless I can truly pick this corner from here, it's going to be really difficult for me to score while I drive into this area. If I'm getting it off of a pass, it's actually pretty simple for me to score from here because the goalie is going to have to shift down. So I want to think about as an offensive player constantly driving into this space. Now, if I'm an off-ball player, one of the things that I can do is cut into this space below. Now, especially if the ball, let's say the ball's on this side, okay? So I got a lefty over here with the ball. That means the goalie is going to be about here, like this. Okay, so we can see the goalie. This is the shoulders of the goalie, and they're lined up to this shooter right here with the ball. If this girl, okay, can get behind this goalie, even to GLE, that's what we call a one-timer opportunity, where if we can skip the ball down here and we can get it right here, that goalie's going to have to crash this backside post, and it's really, really easy to score goals that way. Super easy. All you got to do is cut and get there, have that stick. And because you guys are used to playing with those girl sticks that are hard to catch with, hard to stick handle, you have those boy sticks, you guys should constantly be cutting to this backside post right here. Now, what are ranges we should be at? Range is the score, okay? So I talked about it. We're carrying up and over. When we're in the first, so we think about a shot clock. Let's break a shot clock cycle down for a second. It's going to take us about 10 seconds to transition the ball from defense to offense, which is going to give us about 20 seconds to play with. So we're going to break our shot selection down based on the time on the clock. So from the 20 to 10-second range on the shot clock, if we're shooting, we should be in this area and we should be no further than 20 feet from the goal. The 20-second to 10-second mark, we should be shooting no further than 20 feet from the goal and in the high percentage scoring area. Now, if you had an opportunity where you're driving over the top and you see a girl cutting the back post like this, right? You know the goalie's out of position. It's a great play to throw that down, right? You always have the green light to throw the ball to the backside skip. You always have that green light. The shot selection is where you want to be picky and you really want to try to get to that 20-foot mark and inside to shoot in the 20 to 10-second range. As we get into the 10 to 7-second range, that range can now start to increase by about 5 feet. So we can start to get to that 25-foot mark for our shots. After the 7 set mark, you're thinking about getting any shot you can on net. Okay. And what you specifically want to think about is shooting the ball and trying to hit that goalie so the ball pops out and you maybe get a second chance at it. Because if we can trap those defenders on the floor after a 30-second shift, they get really tired and it gets really easy to attack them. And that's what we want to take advantage of as offensive players is smart opportunities like that. Now, we carried up, so we understand our markers, right? Good shots are going to be based on our shot, where we are in the shot clock and what range we're at. Okay. So when we think about playing now, we have to think about playing inside of a half pipe. Now, have you guys seen like skateboarding, snowboarding, where they like go up the half pipe and they go up one side and they go all the way up and they go all the way up, right? And they do a trick. I need you to think about your box lacrosse offense exactly like that concept. And I'm going to show you the walls of the half pipe. Okay? Build this out for you. So my diamonds are my offensive players. Okay? And right now, this player that's moving is moving to the lefty crease. Okay? This is the lefty shooter. This is the point. Girls, the point is a non-existent position unless you're in man up. Okay? You can like set up here, but immediately this girl will go to the right or the left side based on what stick she is. Now you have the righty shooter right here, and then we have the righty crease. Now, it is so important for these righty creases to get low. You see, I have them on GLE for a reason. The lower these creases get, the more the defense has to drop down to guard them. Okay? So we want to pull them down so we can get shots closer to the net in that prime scoring area. And how you pull them down is by cutting hard through the middle and getting into them and battling with them. Okay? Now, these crease players, right? They are part of that half pipe wall. The other part of the half pipe is the shooter position up here. So when you're on ball or you're off ball, you're kind of constantly thinking about filling this space and then cutting and filling this space, and this player can cycle up. Now that's a little bit more of an off-ball rotation, right? So this player shows they're at this shooter position. These girls are like working over here. They got a little three-man game going. We carry up and over. Okay. This girl fills into this shooter position, this soft spot. The ball swings. this girl can pop out a little bit. We can move the ball down, and now we can be in a little two-man game from here playing, and these girls are cutting, filling, right? Oh, oh, oh. And then cutting through again and filling and presenting. And so it's this constant spacing of moving up one side of the half pipe, showing for an outlet, and then cutting down. And so we always have we're trying to get an option near goal line extended on the back post, and we're trying to get an option at that shooter position. And then from there, we're just kind of working between those two. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand that concept? Yeah? No? Maybe?
Raise your hand if you understand the concept. We'll see your hands. Oh, Soph, I see Soph,
Good.
Brookie, Rylan. Do you want him to go over it again, Rye?
Yeah.
Lizzie, Iris, you good? Casey, you good? Clown, good? All right.
Okay, we got a lot of you on here. Okay, this is
What's
great.
up, G? We have a girl all the way from Texas, Elliot.
Ooh, what part of Texas? Do we know?
He's gonna unmute.
Dallas is.
Okay, I'll be out there next month. My family's from Dallas. Love that area. Awesome.
Let
So,
us know when you're here.
yeah, will do. I'll keep you guys posted. So, the reason I wanted to make sure everybody understood this half pipe concept is because this is where the battling takes place. So we've all played a little bit of box lacrosse at this point. You guys have a little bit of experience with like getting a cross check, right? Like we understand you get a cross check, it's a little bit rattling at times, right? You got to be prepared for it.
Meet Lauren Marsh.
Lauren Marsh, is this
Yeah,
the big one?
I have
yeah.
a
Then
question.
she has
Yeah.
a question.
Should lefties only stay on the left side?
Correct. You only want those lefties to stay on that left side of the floor because your stick is to the inside, which is going to maximize your ability to score from over here. If you had a lefty over here and they went anything past like this line of the crease that we're on, it's going to get really hard to hit both sides of the net, and the goalie's just going to take away the short side, and it's going to be impossible to hit that far side. So you really want to focus on staying on your side. Now, let's say you got like carried away and like you carried the ball over here and you got like field lacrosse and you sweeped a little bit and you didn't know what to do. This girl did a good job. She spaced and this girl came over and you're right here and you're like, what do I do now? Two options. Assess the floor and see who is ready to get into a two-man game would be my first priority. So if you had the right side like this set up, they're set and almost ready to go in a two-man game. You move the ball here. Now they get in their two-man game and you just get back to this side and you can kind of get down and you're going to watch where these girls are going and you're going to kind of clear through and maybe set a pick and then try to get down into this little rotation. If you were over here and you threw the ball and they're carrying and you had to go like this way around the crease, totally okay to just go around the backside. And remember, the creases in box are flat back here, right? So a really good thing for you to do if you do get stuck on this side and you have to kind of wrap around is you can go from a run to a shuffle and point your chest at where the ball is and get ready to receive it. And you can look for one of those dunks where you catch the ball and try to dunk it onto the back post. And believe it or not, that's actually a great option when you're talking about 5-on-5 settled box lacrosse because it's so hard to get good shots off close to the net. So if you're comfortable, if you've practiced dunking, it's something you can do a little bit in your shooting sessions. It seems so strange, but it's such a good shot to have, such a good opportunity. So you just kind of got to shift your footwork a little bit as you come around.
We
Go
we
for a
have a
run.
player that loves that, Ava Axtell, that she does practices this all the time, right, Ava?
Yeah. Yeah, Ava, nail it in a game. It's the best. Just commit to it. Yeah, that's an awesome little play for you guys to make and really get set. Now, we don't really want to drive with the ball back here at X, because there's not a ton of advantage of being back here. It's becoming a little bit, it's changing a little bit just with the dunk and how like it's evolved into youth. So really, I would think about if you had to drive and like carry the ball down here, I would try to get rid of the ball as quick as possible, and just move the ball to the other side and then reset. I wouldn't try to set a ton of dodging. I'd try to get the ball off ball here and then try to dunk to the back post or throw it to your side and then go set some picks and play and etc. Um, when we think about, let's go through this a little bit more from a positional situation. Does any So one of the things that we can do when we start the offense, right? So we have these positions, and let's say we're all kind of coming on the floor right now. We have these two girls on this side, right? And sh let's say she has the ball, and these three players are running on the floor. A very standard field lacrosse thing to do would be to wait and run and have everyone get to their positions and then start playing. But in box, we actually want to start as soon as we can because we have so little time with the ball. So if this girl had the ball and we see these ones coming in, the easiest thing to happen would be to have this girl pop out, move the ball down, get inside out on your picks and get some little play action here and let these girls cut and kind of filter into space and get some action. And if nothing's there, swing the ball, get it to the opposite side, and let them start working. So now by just adding in a little bit of transition offense as you're setting up, you've gained probably 3 seconds in each shot clock, which should give you more chances to shoot and get high scoring percentage chances, right? The big thing is how you set that. You just need to be aware, right? If you if as you bring this ball down here, you want to make sure you're not putting yourself in a bad spot. So just kind of like wait, make sure you have a buddy that can go down there with you and you get the two-man game started and you start playing from here while everybody else is filtering in. And then the girls that are filtering in, make sure you're a threat. And you be a threat by cutting hard to the net and getting inside and making those defensive players have to drop step and guard you and defend you. And that last person can kind of just filter into some space for an outside shot. Um, does that make sense with everybody so far? Everyone doing good with that? Looks good. We're kind of getting through those things. We've talked a lot about the shot clock management. All right, let's go into this. We didn't go into this before. Okay. So when we think about dodging in box lacrosse, we really need a two-man game to get ourselves started. But in order to accurately play a two-man game out, we need to make a read as to what the correct um, play to make is. And let me walk you through this for a second. So the most common thing that you hear when you think about box lacrosse is like probably pass down, pick down, or picking and rolling. And as you're playing here, let's say this righty has the ball. We have to make a read as to how we're going to get open and create offense. And we're going to do that by picking or sealing. Now, a pick we're going to want to pick when the defense is pressuring out and isn't super sloughed in, because that's going to actually give us room to roll. So if this player has the ball, the defender is way out like this, I can come up, I can set this pick, I can give this lane, and I have room to run into this and create a two-on-one situation going to the net. How this gets confusing is if this defender won't come out and play you. What do you do? It's very simple. If these players don't want to come pressure you and you don't have room to pick and roll, you have to fall back on sealing. And so sealing is like when you're picking and trapping the defenders inside. You're sealing them in the middle. Okay? And what you're trying to do is drive into them, get big and wide, and then you'd be letting this player has the ball. They could kind of carry off of this and try to run their defender into this seal, and then we can get some sort of a shot back here. If you've ever seen it, these you can kind of stop your feet and shuffle back and forth in what we call a wind up position. Your wind up position is like you're about to take a time and room shot with your feet set, like a crow hopping mechanic, not an on the run shot. And you can kind of backpedal and shuffle until you can find a lane back here to shoot, right? So that understanding the difference between sealing and picking is really important to becoming a high IQ player. Now, you don't have to just seal up here. If this player had the ball and they're kind of pressuring out a little bit, we could seal right here too. And if we make this seal and we can go and get underneath, this is one of the best plays you can make. If you have a really good girl that you're playing with that's a great dodger, she gets the ball here and can go hard underneath and run her into this little seal. You get right underneath your that's like one of the best shots you can get. And this girl is not going to slide cross crease. And if she does, this girl needs to be crashing that post, and that's what we call a home run pass, where we just give it cross crease. This goalie is going to be on a line playing you like this, okay? And so you're going to be able to make this pass, and that's going to be an empty netter where you just quick stick it in. Does that make sense for everybody? Those giving you guys some good framework here to play in. Kristen, are you seeing anything? Anything you want me to kind of like focus in on?
No, I think this is all really good. I think the half pipe is great. As long as the girls have a good concept of that. We can definitely drill it next training for sure.
Good. Okay, great. Let's talk a little bit about let's talk a little
Elliot,
bit.
do you want to see, or I'm just wondering if the girls have any questions?
Yeah. Any girls, anything? You can go ahead and unmute and we can go through it we'll go through it one at a time if we need to.
Oh. Iris, do you have a question? No? Okay. We might be good. All right. I don't think we have any questions.
Cool. Perfect. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about thank you for the emoji. Lovely. Um So we will talk a little bit about defense now and what we should be looking to accomplish. Oh, sorry. Let me go to offense for just a second, final seconds, and then we'll go to defense. So here's the most got to have dinner with a guy named Kurt Malosky. I don't know if that means anything, that name means anything to you. He was one of the best goal scorers in the NLL for a long time. He played professionally, coached professionally. His son just won a Minto Cup, the second one they've won, which is one of the hardest box lacrosse trophies you can win in Canada. It's from 16 to 21 years old, age boys, and the game is really fast, really skilled. And Kurt Malosky told me when he was looking to draft players, the number one quality that he looked for as a pro coach was players that could keep the game in front of them. And here's what I mean by that. When we have about 7 to 10 seconds left in our offensive possession, and let's say the lefties are working over here, this righty player and this righty player are probably not super involved in the game. And if the bench is over here, it might be better for these players as it gets down to like that 7 second, 5 second mark for them to just start dropping back to defense because they're probably not going to be a threat on offense for much longer. And we have no one in front of our defensive net. So better to get back and defend our net with that 7 to 5 second mark as opposed to try to stay up and get a goal, right? Does that make sense? We don't want to give them anything in transition against. And transition is the easiest way to score. And it's the best way to score. You should be constantly hunting for it. So if you're playing offense and you're getting to that 7 second mark in that possession and you're no longer a part of that two-man game that's happening with the ball, you should be shuffling backwards up the floor, looking to get back and defend in transition, right? And get in front of the play. That is one of the most important concepts that you can understand as a box lacrosse player. So now with that being said, let's go into a little bit of defensive positioning. So when we play D, okay, the first thing that we want to think about is we want to think about defending the shooter positions because the shooter positions are the highest scoring percentage chances. We're going to get the most shots from there. So we really need to hyper focus in on the shooter. Now, for most players, they're going to be athletic enough to go and pressure out. And when you pressure out, you want to get, if this is a defender going to the righty side, their left shoulder wants to be in line with the offensive player's right shoulder. And that's going to allow you to truly take away the middle, right? It's going to allow you to shuffle up the floor and take that middle away and force them underneath. And the reason we want to force them underneath is because there are defenders down here that can help us out as long as we don't slide directly upfield. They can kind of just plug this lane up, and this defender can hold in this slot. And as you can tell, in the shooting lane to the net, right, from the ball carrier, they're not going to take that shot. They're going to try to continue to work or they're going to circle out. So kind of holding this space inside, and then you're in the perfect position. If we can get this force underneath, this crease defender just sloughs into this shooting lane. If the ball kicks down here to this righty crease player, the goalie should have no trouble taking away this short side post. So then all you have to do as this defensive player is just make sure you're not allowing the ball to come above you. And you're playing like this, high and above them. And then as that ball gets right to that line that we talked about, to those hockey dots, right, where it starts to become a good area to carry the ball into and shoot, that's where you want to look to meet and make contact. And when we talk about meeting and making contact, we're talking about having our stick out in a cross check position and driving up and in to the other defenders down here. Okay? So when we think about crease defense, we're very sloughed in. We're not going too far out. Okay? And then when we think about defending from the shooter position, the more athletic you are, the further out you can go and pressure and be an absolute nuisance, right? That's one of the best things that you can do is just frustrate these girls, go run out there, cross check them, and just keep sending them underneath. Now, things to think about. We never want to slide up the floor. And sliding sometimes in box is not the best thing that we can do because the way the goalies play, right? And so if you want to think about this for a second, I'm going to stand up, try to do an impression here of a goalie. If I'm a goalie and I'm standing like this and I'm squatted down, it's hard for me to move, right? You girls have all experienced like kind of being in a half squat and having to move back and forth. It's very difficult to do. I call it duck walking, where goalies have to like waddle into position. And so every time you slide, you open up some sort of a passing lane, and that makes the goalie have to then shift positions again. And in box lacrosse, it's really hard for them to recover. Field, it's a little bit easier, so we slide a little bit more frequently in field lacrosse. If we can try and hold space, hold shooting lanes, super important. Um, yeah, and then finally, when we talk about playing defense, when you're off ball, you just like field lacrosse defense. If you can guard two girls, great. Like if you can help guard inside and help in here, great. If girls cut in here, you should physically be harassing them. You should be making contact with them by cross-checking them and driving them out of this space. You never want them to go in here for free. They always have to pay the tax, right? And the tax is a cross-check every single time they enter this crease. Because guess what? They're going to go down and they're going to do it to you. So super important to own this space in the middle, right? We're sloughed in, and then we're firing out at all times to get out to those shooter positions and never letting them get any sort of a free shot at, 25 feet or in. We're always on hands, always looking to make a play there.
I'm seeing a
Um,
lot of smiles on some girls' faces that you just told them they can go cross check.
yeah.
Lauren Marsh, Addie,
We call it getting down with our
Hazel.
selves. You just get down with your bad self a little bit. Go hit some people. It's okay. It's fun. It's like it's part of the game. And you know what the best part about the game is too, is it's really physical. It's really rough. It's really tough. But then afterwards, the culture that we maintain is like the coolest part about it because if you battle as hard as you possibly can and you know that girl is battling as hard as you can't help but respect that. And that's what makes it fun to talk about after the games and like meet up and be about. And that's like a really cool, special part of the culture of this game is like you guys share this uncommon bond of playing this super physical game and you have mutual respect for each other just based on the way you guys compete. And so it's really important to be a physical, strong player when you're on the floor. It's really important to be a good leader, being assertive, and just playing the game really hard. And so if, I'll kind of end on these closing statements and I'll just kind of open the floor up. The number one thing that I tell all of my athletes when they play box lacrosse is I say, go get them. And what that means to me is if you're on defense, you go get the ball carrier and you pressure them and you make sure they know you're there. If you have the ball, go attack them on offense. Go get them. Go find that lane, create that opportunity. If you're in transition, go get them opportunities. Go get them constantly. Constantly, you can create your own success in box lacrosse. It's very much a team sport, but you can also thrive as an individual, and it does not matter the quality of your teammates or even the comprehension. If you're a good player, you can make it happen in box. Um, in field, it's not so much that way. It's just like there's so many more pieces, right? So this is such a great opportunity for you girls to go and play this game. The translation to field lacrosse is enormous. Your hands will get 1,000 times better, your decision making, and I'm so excited for you girls. I hope you guys do so well. So like, tell me, ask me any questions. Anybody got anything for me?
I think Henley has one. Unmute tense.
If I'm playing defense on the crease, should I not slide up at all?
Yeah, yeah, don't slide up. So let me go through this here. So if you're here and let's say like there's some like weird stuff that happens. So you're this righty player and this player, let's say she blows a tire and just like falls down. She's out of the play. And somehow the ball goes from this player down to this player. If you come across crease here, you're going to open up that home run pass across and the goalie is going to be standing like this. So when that ball goes across, you see how much net there is to shoot in. We really want to avoid that. So we would hold and just let the goalie take the chances, and you would want to stand about here. So if they really started inching into this space, you would at least go finish your check and like put a hit on them as they shoot the ball, right? But you wouldn't want to expose yourself and let the ball go over your head. Any follow up on that you need, or was that good?
That was good.
Cool.
Any other questions, girls? Oh, we got Lauren Marshy.
So earlier you said picture the hockey circles for like the shooting lanes, but like, is there like a marker you use on a box field to tell where those are?
It's a good question.
That's a great question. There really isn't. Let me hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull this up really quick for you. Uh, in a Canadian rink, there is what they call the shooting arc, box across diagram. And that does a really good job of outlining where you should be. Let me go back here. Uh, did that work? Yeah, you guys can see that rink now. So, um, you see these like this dotted line and this arced line. That's I believe it's what is it saying? It's like 24 feet. Yep, 24 feet exactly. So they don't have any indicators of where a hockey reference would be. You kind of just have to like once you kind of hear this concept, it'll take you a couple times and you'll just start seeing how the goalies line up. And it's just probably, I don't know, 15 to 20 feet from the dead center point of the floor where the Z line would be. The Z line kind of splits the floor in half. So probably 15 to 20 feet out away from it is going to be a pretty good indicator of where you should be. And as you start playing, like when you're in warm-ups, when you're shooting, just kind of like you can kind of start to see where it really becomes like there's not really any pockets to hit on the goalie, and we just stay away from that area. Cool. Any more? Cool.
Coach, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of, I mean, most of our girls have, um, if maybe a year or so of box experience. I guess this is a two-part question. What was your favorite moment as a box lacrosse player? And could you give them some advice, as newer box players in order, for them to be motivated to continue working hard?
Yeah. Okay. So the best advice that I can give as a coach is just don't be afraid to make mistakes. It can be so intimidating in the box because everything is like louder, there's more sounds, it's hotter, it's sweatier, it's kind of gross at times, it's smellier too, right? And there's just like so much tension. And I always talk about there needing to be like a level of paranoia when you're playing the game, of like constantly managing everything that there is to manage when you're playing. So, but like the easiest thing to do is just to run really hard, and most coaches respect that, right? So if you think about like you're the girl that like, and you're a little worried because it's your first box game, be the one that wins the battle back into the defensive hole every single time. Like work really hard there. Work really hard to get up the floor and be an outlet for your teammates, and then go and like work on getting ground balls. Those are the things that you can focus on, and then the rest of the game will kind of come to you through osmosis. So just working hard. And so then like my favorite moment as in box lacrosse, my first game, I'll never forget it. It was absolutely incredible. I had this like really unique story about driving across the country from California to Toronto. I didn't know anybody out there. I went to one practice. I couldn't understand Canadians speaking inside of a hockey rink because it was so loud, and there's so many A's and oohs. And so I practiced on a Tuesday. It was the hardest practice of my life at 20 years old. And then I played my very first game on the Clarington Green Gales, which is like one of the most historic junior lacrosse programs in Canada. They have this really cultured story, and so it was such an honor for the game. And from that, my best friend lives like 15 minutes down the road that was on that team in Nashville. We both linked up, and I still get to travel all around. And just that first game, just the sights, the smells, the sweatiness, how gross it was. It'll just like never leave my mind. I remember I had like one of the first shifts, I had a breakaway in that game. And like I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just running around hitting people because I was an athlete. And I like got a breakaway and ran at the net and like threw it right in the goalie's belly. And it was just like, ah, but it was so much fun. It was the best experience. And it's like you think field lacrosse has a unique culture. When you see box lacrosse and the culture attached to it, it's even more unique and it's so special. And there's just so much great stuff about it. I love it.
Yeah, I think for us last year, we did not expect that atmosphere at all. And I think it was a very big surprise. Like, I mean, the fans were crazy. It was loud. There was so much yelling. And so I think for the new girls coming in and even for the parents, it was like you've never experienced something like this before. Um, but so you're totally spot on. But I think for us, just to prepare for that moment, of the chaos, because we don't usually we're playing lacrosse outdoors and it's not loud and um, crazy. So I think that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I always as a coach and as a player just control what you can control, right? And that's like your respect, your attitude and effort. And like those are the best things, about it. And the game tests you in all those things all the time. So it's great.
Does anyone else have any other questions? It looks like Abby has one.
I think Lauren might have one too.
Oh, Lauren. Okay. All right, Lo.
Jump in, girls.
Can you say 6'7"?
6'7". There you go.
Oh
I'm on
boy.
TikTok. I get it. I
Looks like
understand.
Brooklyn. Brooklyn, do you have a question, hon?
My mom wants to know if she can bring the cowbell.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a good environment. Oh, Iris has a question. Go ahead, Iris.
Go.
What's your Starbucks order?
Starbucks, a black coffee.
Oh,
Black
Oh.
that's
coffee.
Ooh.
You don't like that? No,
just
what
so,
Oh,
I'm just a little
Scarlet.
disappointed.
I'm
Like
Can
just
you bring
disappointed.
straight
has a
up black
question?
coffee or like with something else in it.
Black coffee.
Oh.
Do you know
All
the
right, Charlotte,
cover?
go ahead.
So do you know cover the camera for an edit?
Wait, what?
Like you go like this, and then they make an edit for you.
Oh, you
You
want
know
me
how
to
to
do
make
that?
those? Yeah, like cover the camera for an edit. Like you just grab your camera screen.
Do you
Like
like
that?
tenders?
Tenders, like chicken tenders? Oh, yeah. Oh, they're getting goofy now.
Yeah. Well, Elliot, I just want to thank you for your time. I know it's super valuable, and we are so lucky to have had you not only for a coach's session, but for the girls to hear from you. And hopefully it's not the last time. Um, and girls, I guess I can speak for Elliot, but I'm sure if any questions come up over the next couple months, Elliot will make himself available as this is like a huge passion of his to grow the game and share his knowledge and all of his wisdom of box lacrosse. So thank you again so much for being with us on your Saturday night.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, girls, and I hope you guys go kick some butt, okay?
You guys want to come off mute and say thanks to Elliot, and then we'll let you guys go?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Do
Thank
you like ice
you.
cream?
Thanks.
Bye, girls. Have a good night. Thanks, coach.
Bye. Have a good
Bye,
Thank
night.
girls.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Lauren, what
Bye.
happened to your thinger?
Yeah,
6'7".
Lauren.
Oh, I was playing basketball.
Oh,
Of course you're playing basketball when you
I
did that.
sprained it.
just basketball.
Big back.
All right,
Bye.
girls, I'm gonna
Kenley, I'm
sign
not
off.
talking.
Bye.
Bye.
Enjoyed you guys. We'll see you. Good luck.